Yes, sir. We are live, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our live session for the Design Thinking a Primer course on NPTEL. This is our second live session. Last 2 weeks ago, we had our first live session where we answered questions, we responded to queries, and everything else in between. So the same pattern for this live session as well. I have with me Shyam, who will also partake in the queries, reading out the queries or responding to queries. And we will also address some of your concerns, or if there are any questions on the Zoom session as well, we would love to take it. Just either unmute and ask the question or leave it in the chat, your questions, and we'll take it up as and when. So I believe we have a few questions from the last live session itself, which we had not answered. So we will respond to them. We'll make sure that all your queries, all your concerns, all your suggestions, everything is read and responded to. That's our, let's say, customer service agreement with you. Having said that, over to you, Shyam. Please, you're the MC for this live session.
Okay. Welcome to the second live session. We'll start with the first question, which was supposed to be answered last week and we missed it. This is from the week 2 assignment, question number 9. And the question goes like, as a manager in a software development team, you are focused on delivering project within strict deadlines. Yet you also aim to maintain the high quality code. So what is the conflict of interest that arises in this? And the learner here has a confusion between the project deadline versus employee satisfaction, and the second option, speed of development versus thorough testing. This is from Anirudh Singhal. Professor, any comments on this?
Thanks, Shyam. Yes. So this is a very interesting question, very realistic. And so we looked at it. So there are some terms that are not probably referred to in the answers from the question. That's probably the reason for the confusion. But in our mind, it was very clear. So anyway, I'll specify what we were thinking. So here is a conflict between in a software development team. So one of the key things in this you can see is strict deadline. So I don't know if I can annotate. Strict deadline is what you can see. Strict deadline is something that adheres to time and hence speed. So we think of deadlines. We think of, okay, that's a strict deadline. It's very close by. Usually it dictates what is our pace of development. So that's what we infer in this case. That's the main thing. The second part of it is the quality of code. From the question, that's what we can derive. High code quality. High code quality means that the code, the lines of code that somebody has to write in a software development team has to be really, really good. Okay, and that if you have worked in the industry, know that it comes after years of experience or after spending a lot of time with the code. That's when good quality, high quality code comes in, which implies that there are minimal errors. So that's the question. How do we now frame this as a this versus that conflict? That is the main part of the question. And I agree with you that it is it's not verbatim from the question that we have the responses, and that's probably why you brought this up as a question. So the first, let's look at number 1, which is project deadline versus employee satisfaction. Project deadline is already mentioned in the question. Our employee satisfaction depends on many factors, and high quality code, writing of high quality code is probably a minor percentage of it, because satisfaction revolves around how is the whole thing going for me, my career plan and all that stuff that is going on, very, very high level. There are theses written. Some of my students have written thesis on HR satisfaction and employee satisfaction in a company. So it is not a straightforward model as I understand it. So, or it could also be interpreted as the code, the manager is happy that it's written in code, it goes to the customer within a deadline, but they find some bugs and comes back and the employee is not happy. So there are several steps. It's not a simple, straightforward thing. And that's why we think that it does not represent the conflict in its entirety. Okay, that's the main reason why we did not consider number 1 as the right answer. We consider number 2 as the right answer because speed of development is directly related to the deadline. So it's not a one-to-one, but it's the inverse of that. That is, how fast will you pace your development? What is your pace of development will depend on what the deadline that is their internal or with reference to with consultation with the customer. You decide on how fast should you be finishing this code? How many levels of independent testing should I do? If you're aware of software developer process, you do your independent development testing first. You see if it works. That's what it means, right? Just like how we do in the prototype stage. We make sure that it's developed. And then, but if you don't have a lot of time and the quality is not good, how do you find that out? In your independent testing, you have to be rigorous in finding out all the possibilities and find out that yes, it has passed all the tests, and then it qualifies as high quality code. And that's where the testing comes, a thorough testing. Only if you do thorough testing will you figure out whether it's high code quality or not. The errors are minimal, or is it does it still error? Are there still errors out there? So this is a, if you've been in software industry, you will know that this is for particularly a developer, this is an ongoing struggle. Always, it's a conflict that is ongoing. That is, your boss wants you to finish the coding yesterday, not even today, but yesterday. But you need time to make sure that it's really good. It can stand the testing, which is usually the next in the line. They take your code and test it very, very rigorously and come back to say, hey, it did not pass the first test. Okay. And that's heartbreaking. So this is the perennial conflict. And that's why we think option number 2 is the right answer for this question. Shyam, hope it answered the question.
Yes,
And the
sir.
confusion.
If I'll check if the learner is here in the Zoom meeting. No. All right. I think we can proceed with the next question,
Okay.
which is question number 10 from the same graded assignment 2, week 2.
Okay.
This is from Nalini. And the question is about a school principal aiming to motivate teachers in integrating innovative teaching methods. And there are 4 options, from offering recognition and praise to implementing financial bonus and perks. So the learner wants to know which one would be appropriate to address. So this is again from the analyze phase, the second phase in the DT, and similar to the teacher trying to get the attention of the student in the class, which you have discussed in the video.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Shyam, for bringing this to our notice. So the main thing in this is going to be to consider your teachers and their environment as something that you will consider. So your customer is, or user is your teacher. You're a principal, but your customer is a teacher. So start from there and look at it from their perspective, saying, hey, they need to discharge their duties very well. So that's something that you can have innovative teaching methods, but they need to have a good amount of ideas in their place, or at least it should be allowed to try out new ideas. So that's one part of it. However, it should not be infringing upon other teachers' practices or the um, the framework that the school has and all that. So this is sort of a broad generalization of what we think could be typical school level practice. So this is what we were thinking in this question. So if you look at this kind of a idea in mind, for us, we think number three, creating a school environment that facilitates open discussions. So, which means that you're not infringing upon, that I'm not enforcing as a teacher, I'm not enforcing, or as a principal, I'm not enforcing my ideas on one particular teacher or all the teachers. So, there is open discussion. And not only that there is a principal who is encouraging this, but also it's among the peers as well. So we would like the cake and eat it too. So it's sort of this is what we were thinking in terms of idea exchange among the teachers, which is the customer lot, let's say, and the environment, that is the principal and the teachers. Also, there is cohesive facilitation of open discussions. So we want both these satisfied. If there is no idea exchange, there's only one person who's innovating, that doesn't become a culture in the school. And if the person, who's facilitating the discussion is not the principal, then it just becomes one teacher's habit, or among the teacher's habit, it doesn't get endorsed. People are wondering whether to go with it or not. This is where we're thinking in terms of week 2, question number 10. I
All
hope
right.
that answers the question. Yes, Shyam?
Yes, I would also like to add upon
Yes,
to
please.
this discussion. Option 1, 2, and 4 seems like directly going to the solve stage where learners attempt to implement a solution, whereas in the DT process, we are attempting to create an open environment where the teachers can first discuss, bring out ideas that would be beneficial for the school. Then they can go on to integrate these innovating teaching methods into this solution.
Super. Yes, that works as well. Thank you so much for adding that. Yeah.
Okay. Now we will go to the third question, which is from Kushi Sahu. The question is, what is the accuracy of pinpointed root cause in multi-why method? In certain situations, the issue is quite evident, but in other cases, it could be others too. So how do we accurately extract the main root cause during the analysis process?
Super. So, a multi-why method, as you've seen, is very easy to learn, but can be difficult to apply in some cases. Now, why is it so difficult in some cases, whereas it's not in some other cases? That's how I interpret this question as. So, if you know the problem, have spent a lot of time with the problem situation, your customer's problem situation, you are a domain expert in this particular scenario that you have, or this is something that your institution, your organization has had working for a really, really long time, then you get to know the root cause pretty quickly. It's not non-obvious. It's very obvious to many of you that this is what we need to go into. We get into the root, and we can identify. So if you have enough experience, if you spend enough time with the customer user, if your organization is a domain sort of go-to domain knowledge expert in this particular arena, then the root cause is quite evident. I mean, for you, it may not even be a startling thing that, oh, yeah, I knew this root cause all along. However, you do not know enough. The opposite, exactly all I said about what is true, the opposite of that is what is missing, and you are not sure. Why are you not sure? Because you do not know enough about the domain. You've not spent enough time with the customer or customers. You're not you're not the you're not the your organization is not the go-to sort of organization for this particular domain. You're a let's say you're this is gone into information technology, whereas you are a biofirm, into pharmacy and all that, pharmaceuticals and all that. You're probably not into information tech as much as you should be, but your why gets you into that, or you're a teacher of chemistry, whereas this has led you into the realm of physics. And then you're feeling, I don't know the root cause. If that is the root cause, it's gone out of my domain. So many factors. So what is the recommendation? Try to involve experts. Number one recommendation, to be sure of what is the root cause. This is the best place. Multivy is the best place to involve experts in that particular domain. Or if you've gone into another domain, bring in an expert for that domain. Two is to spend enough time with your users, observe things that you've not observed with, try to do it, repeat with another customer, set of customer in the same persona bracket. Try to spend as much time with how they are interacting with the product. Maybe you will get more tips and hints on that. You can even, this is an additional tip, you can even involve the customer in the initial part of it. Why did you do that? Why did you switch on the red when it clearly says it should not be turned on? Things like that could be asked. So those will be the things that you will know for sure. And then you can be sure of your root cause in your multivy. Hopefully that answers the question. Shyam, I guess you're not audible.
Yes, there are three questions from Praveen Gokul. We'll go one by one.
Okay.
The first question is about the application of design thinking to real life business situation.
Okay.
So the learner wants to know if there are any good reading material for the learners to get the answer.
Okay. So change by design, I think we talked about it last time, Tim Brown's book. This is a good book to illustrate lots of real life business situations, case studies that they have talked about in a lot of detail in that book. That would be a great go-to book for starters. There are lots of case studies. So again, real life business situation is still pretty vast. I would say use your internet engine and type in the words design thinking case studies and your domain name. That will give you a lot of case studies that people have documented. This is the best place to find out and people have been very generous in applying design thinking and even documenting them and publishing them. So you will find many case studies in your domain, related domain. So look for, number one, go to, look at, if you can buy the book, go ahead and buy the book, Change by Design by Tim Brown. The second one is to use your internet search engine, design thinking, case studies, followed by your domain name. You will get some case study or the other. So that was the two. The third one, very reliable one, in my opinion, is take the methods that are described here and apply it for yourself. No better case study than your own case study. You are trying to improve somebody else's situation. You put yourself into that shoes of the design thinker and in the shoes of the customer and improve their life. That's your case study that will last for a lifetime, because you have, and at the end, you've improved their situation. Nothing like it. You can talk with authority to anybody about the case study that you have built. Okay. So the third one is my highest recommendation. As many case studies as you can do. This is the best case studies that, and of course, you can also document them and leave it as something that others can also read up about. So Shyam has worked on a project, on many projects. I have worked on many projects. We've documented many of those and have shared it with others. So same way, if you can do that too, nothing like it. These are the best business situation that you can illustrate. That's the third one. Okay. Um,
Hello.
yes,
Sir, good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Sir, everyone from us only joined this course to improve ourselves in the personal and professional life. The main
Okay.
main key reason of joining the design thinking that we improve ourselves, that how to I think in the some different tricky manners from the general people, and especially to improve the same things, just like 5 times y, or either the reverse calculation, or either the solve test. These are the analysis. So how we judge that which one is the applicable at what time, and how we apply these things in our personal professional life, especially that to improve ourselves in the professional life. Just I'd like to know what your experience, sir.
Great question. Thank you so much, Mr. Girish. Um, so these methods that we describe in the course are, let's say, to use a word, commonsensical. So it's not rocket science. You don't have to have a lot of training in advanced mathematics or statistics or any such thing. These are very, very simple things. So the first one is to look at the story of your user or customer. So if you are the ones that, so this is going to be sort of circular reference. So you improve yourself by improving someone else's life, because the way our world works is that we are never at the service of ourselves, but we serve somebody else. Your jobs, your the studies that you do are all for somebody else. You're aiming at helping somebody else. So keeping that in mind, the more you help somebody else, the more improvement you can see in yourself. This is not philosophy. I'm talking about regular things, how the world works, right? So society works like this. Any service that you subscribe to, or you are in an organization, these are one and the same, because you're in an organization because you have some skill set that nobody else has, and you're able to do that, right? So if you try to improve somebody else's situation, you're actually also improving yourself in the process. Your thinking process, your the way you operate, the way you understand how the world works actually changes tremendously. Okay, and these are the design thinking process is let's say a systematization of that. Gives you a nice flow of, if I am stuck somewhere, this will help me sort of think about, okay, what do I do next? How do I do this? Okay, so the first is to identify, okay, somebody that I can help. Put yourself in their shoes. What are you improving? You're able to improve your empathy skills, right? So I found with from feedback from others that I was not so good at really finding out what they're going through. This method really helped me because I'm trying to get what their story looks like. So that I have asked few other people after so many years. People have come back and told me that yes, I do see a change in you. You have become more empathetic towards other people. Okay, that's one. The second part of an analysis, why, asking why many times. You've seen kids do this. We have forgotten as adults, so we're just going back to being kids and being very curious about what's happening. It's not about a method, it's not about an exam, it's not about a course, it's not about a certificate. It's about being curious about how the world works, why the world works like this, why is grass green, why is the sky blue? Simple questions like that. But it's mind-boggling that many of the why is grass green? We think it's a simple answer. Just to give you trivia on this is that uh, green, the color green, is the maximum component, intensity component in the sunlight. Okay. Now, if that is the case, then you would expect that living creatures like leaves should absorb it the most because it's available the most. However, leaves actually do the opposite. They reflect green light, which is highest abundant, right? So we still haven't figured out why grass is green anymore. We know that it reflects green light, but why does it do that? No clue. Scientists are still figuring this out. Okay, so a simple question like why grass green is still unanswered. So in one sense, right? So being curious makes us a better person, because we now know there are so many mysteries and we need to know about that. The second component in analyze, which is conflict of interest. Okay, it tells us that as humans, we are limited in our capacity to analyze a situation. Okay, now a conflict, if I were to introduce a third element, I don't know if some of you are curious about why are there only two? Why is Porthos versus Taylor the only conflict? Why can't there be Porthos versus Taylor versus Arthos? Okay, the three characters. Why can't we have a three-way conflict? Why didn't we represent it that way? Because as humans, we are limited by the fact that I can only see this versus that. There's a test match going on as we speak, India versus England. Why can't we throw Australia in the middle and say India versus Australia versus England? Our brain goes completely kaput. We can't really analyze what's going on, who's playing whom, right? That's what is our limitation. So we understand one more thing about us. So that's why we represent problems in terms of conflicts, because we are able to understand and appreciate the problem better. This itself is confusing. Porthos doesn't want to be touched. Taylor wants to touch. That itself is confusing, right? But we know this situation now a little better, because that's how we can understand. In solve, we know what are the common ideas that we normally generate, and what do we do to generate even more ideas than that. Okay, the more you do it, the better you know about yourself. They say that, and this is proved neurologically, is that the more self-aware you are about your own thinking patterns, the better quality your ideas are. That is, it is more creative. That's what is found neurologically. So if you know what patterns of thinking you normally use. So for example, my pattern of thinking is I often segment. I often divide a larger thing into smaller pieces. That's my go-to method. Now I'm aware of that. I'll be able to better utilize it. And I know that my go-to method is not the other way around. Okay. So this awareness itself tells me that what is my thinking. Okay. So you can get better at this by knowing who you are. Finally, testing is about putting your ideas into practice. Okay. To see if your idea really works, one, and to communicate it to others. So this way you will also enhance your communication skills, according to me. Because you think it's a great idea. Oh, I will add AI component to this. Many of my students have been saying this for years. I say, okay, try to make a component. Oh, I don't know the first thing about how to build an AI solution. I said, start there. Now you know something that you don't know, right? So these are few places where we can really help ourselves. Hopefully that was useful for you. If not, please let us know via chat, or you can unmute and ask me again.
Sir, thanks for your help. One more thing I would like to know:
Please.
we have any advanced course in and through the NPTEL from the design thinking, or either you are going to launch something that in case we would like to upgrade ourselves, then we have any course in our syllabus, all the subjects which one NPTEL either IM is offering.
Yes, we definitely have one very, very advanced course, which is application of what you have learned in this, which is through a workshop. So we are going to have a workshop, possibly in the month of June,
Sir,
and I would
please,
highly recommend that.
please
If
repeat the name application.
I said application of the methods of that,
Okay,
not the course name. It's not a course name.
okay. It's a workshop you are offering.
Yes, we are offering a workshop probably in June. We'll confirm that via NPTEL announcements.
Okay, great.
That's one of the things that I can suggest. Of course, there are lots of courses all around the globe you can take. But
No. We are learning from you, so I was just asking that from the NPT or either from your side.
So from my side, it's the workshop that I have,
Okay.
possibly during June, that you're most welcome to join. I think there is a form
Not
that
an issue, not
Sham
an
can
issue.
tell you where. I think it's there in your NPTEL interface itself.
Okay.
In week 4, is it? Correct me if I'm
Yes,
wrong, Sham.
it is there. It
Week
is there.
4, it is there, right, as a link.
Sir, one more thing. Satyam is offering strategic management and one more course, advanced corporate strategy. These are the
Yeah.
courses which ones are slightly similar to the design thinking and
Okay.
match just like be a subset of the each courses.
Okay.
Uh, uh, can we go for those courses also, which one help in our corporate life?
I have no idea about these courses,
Okay, okay.
but my strong recommendation to you, like I've been suggesting in the previous question also, is to apply these methods onto a real project that you're working on. Okay, so if you're in an organization, in a company, look around yourself and see whom can I help. If it's a person whom you're working for, your manager, or somebody who's reporting to you, take that up, or somebody is a fresher who's joined in, maybe a person who guards your facility. Pick anybody and apply these principles to improve their life. Look at it from their perspective, do the whole thing. That's the best course I can suggest. And you can of course seek out and help, ask for help from us, saying how do I do this, have I done this the in a good way, here are some things that I'm finding very difficult. Please reach out to us. I can leave my email address. You can reach out via email, and we'll be very happy to help you out.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes,
I
good
ha
afternoon.
I have a doubt. Can you
Yes.
please uh, answer my question in week 4 assignment question number 5, 6, 7, as I have not able to put my mind in the answers. Like I'm getting confused in that questions. So
Okay.
can
Okay.
we here solve the
I will
answer?
ask Sham to first attempt it, and then I will.
If I'm not sure if the deadline for week 4 graded assignment has passed. Uh, if that is not so, we would not be able to discuss the
No,
questions
no,
per
no.
se, but we can.
Just for the third week is passed yesterday. Fourth is still
So
Okay.
due.
4 is still there. So if you
Okay.
have any specific questions
Yeah,
or
if you have a
clarification,
query around it, rather than asking us the answer, this is something that I don't understand. If you ask me, then I can answer it without giving out the answers, because it's not fair to the other students who are still probably thinking about the answers.
Okay.
So, question 5, 6, and 7 are around. What is your question? Let me ask that first. What is something that you don't understand in that question? Let me probably ask you that.
I'm going to the question and opening on the website.
Yeah. Which method is not usually employed to collect user feedback during the test phase in design thinking? Is that your question?
Yes.
Okay. So let me have it. What is your question around that? So check the video what we talk about in terms of collecting user feedback. What do we use, and what do we do, and what do we not do? Just take a look at it.
In the video.
Okay, let me point that to Shyam.
okay. Just go through the lecture videos along with the workshop which Professor Bala conducts with some of his students, and note down the tools that professor and the team uses to drill down to the problem with respect to the development of the knowing tab for solving the homework problem with students. If any of those methods are not used, you can mark that as an answer in this question. And by going through the videos only, you will be able to answer the sixth and seventh question will require you to apply some thoughts, or you can read up on the internet. And 6 is pretty straightforward from the course videos itself. Does
Yeah.
that answer your question?
Think about it. It's not a straightforward question. I agree with you. It is not a direct from the. We have not asked an objective question. directly. That's an inference question. It's a little you have to apply it and you will get it.
Can you please repeat it? As I have a network issue, so that I'm
Okay.
not able to hear Sham.
Sham, she couldn't hear. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it clear?
Yes, I can hear you, Sham, now.
Okay. The answer to the questions would be from the videos, especially the lecture videos, along with the workshop which Professor Bala conducts with his students. Note down the tools that the team is using to drill down to the problem and used for testing the application that they are developing. Then you can answer the question 5. By going through the lectures itself, you would be able to infer the answer for question number 6. For 7, you have to read a bit on the topic from the internet or from the book which Professor Bala has recommended in his course page description.
I have downloaded that book. In fact, I have gone through the transcripts. So
That book. So I was not talking about the KD book which is published by the NPTEL. This is a separate book written by Professor Bala, which is titled as Karmic Design Thinking, a Buddhism-inspired methodology, which will also help you to gain in-depth knowledge about the subject, the question that you're talking about, as well as help you to ace the end-term examination or the final examination, which you would be appearing.
Okay.
Is that clear, or you want to ask any more questions to the professor?
I'm clear for this. Can you please give me more tips regarding the final end-term examination, as it is related to my course credit in my master's?
There would be a third live session on March 15th. There we'll be discussing it. We still have questions on week 2 and 3 content, which is yet to be answered. Is it okay? You can join the third live session on March 15th, 4 to 5 p.m.
So
Okay.
great help.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Sham. Live session 3, which will be on March 15th, is specifically for people who are taking the exams, exam pattern and what kind of questions and how long, some sample case, questions, etc., etc. All that we will handle on live session 3, which is going to be on March 15th. I'm not very certain of the time. I'm sure you've got announcements already about the live session number 3. Let me quickly tell you what the time is also, in case you're noting it down.
4 p.m. It's 4.
4 p.m. Okay, 4 p.m. That is. Yes, you're right. 4 p.m. So they'll have the live session, third live session. Super. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the questions.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
This is Gautam. I had joined last meeting also, and again, so sir,
Okay.
my question is related to like week 3, that 6th number question. Okay.
Okay.
So I mean, like when I was giving this answer, like I was thinking maybe the answer could be divert, but I mean, then later on, I decided to go ahead with convergent, and the answer was correct. No, I mean, the answer was wrong. I mean, in my case. So it is saying divergent is the correct one. So this particular question is like solve is considered to be dash phase in design thinking. So,
Correct.
as per double diamond concept, if we look at like where we have discover, define, develop, deliver. So, discover is equal to diversion phase, where define is convergent, and then develop it again. Develop is equivalent to solve, right, sir?
No, you finish it, then we'll come back and
Okay.
analyze what you've said.
Develop is equivalent to diverse, and then deliver is convergent. So if we fit our design thinking, which we learn like as per karmic design thinking, which is like empathize, I mean, design,
Analyze.
and empathize, analyze, design, test, right? Solve a test, right?
Solve and test. Empathize,
Solve and
analyze, solve and test.
yes, solve and test. So there is also four, and in the double diamond also the four thing like discover, design, discover, define, develop, and deliver, right? So here develop is equivalent to solve, which is divergent. So if we look at here, like okay, but I was thinking like convergent, maybe like convergent can be correct, but okay, I mean, I got the answer here itself. I have
Okay. So I'm just going to use the whiteboard a bit. Just let me know if you can see my whiteboard.
yes, sir.
You
Yes,
can see
sir.
my whiteboard? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So where are those pen tools? Just give me a second while I figure out where the pen tools are. Minimap, page 1.
Did the interface change?
Yeah, it looks like it has changed. I
Okay.
don't see the pen anymore.
Is it Figma?
No, this is whiteboard from Zoom.
Okay.
But I'm
Could you
not able.
please try to click on somewhere and write?
Yeah, that's
Not working.
no, that's not working. Okay, never mind. I'll close this. Let me see if I can get something else to share. Basically, it's you're right with the double diamond. Okay, for people who are not aware of this double diamond stuff, it is convergent and divergent. What do they mean really? Okay, convergent, as it says, it points to a certain thing. That is, there are lots of restrictions. Okay. And divergent is when there are no restrictions at all, unlimited. Okay. That's what the two terms mean in the context of design thinking. Okay. So whatever the stages you call it, define, deliver, whatever, or empathize, analyze, solve, and test, as we call it in this course, think about this the following. Is that stage allowing you to keep yourself open? That means, and for more inputs, a lot of inputs, then it is divergent. That is, it is diverging, like it's opening up. Okay, that is divergent. If the stage of design thinking is making you focus on something very narrow, laser sharp focus, then or there are lots of limitations. There are not infinite resources, but there are only few. Then that is convergent. It converges into a point or diverges. So this is what it means. Okay. So in solve, not just one idea. We're not after just one brilliant idea. No, there are no one brilliant idea. Okay, that's one thing that we don't believe in. That one brilliant spark of an idea is what is going to revolutionize. No, never. In none of the products and services, it all starts with one spark of an idea. That's for sure. Okay, the apple falling or somebody thinking of how the camera and the phone combining together. Oh, what a lovely idea. But it just starts there. There are many, many, many millions of ideas that go into a movie, a product. It's a divergent phase. Okay, it's a divergent phase because there are so many ideas that you have to generate just for one problem. Okay, and you never know what will really hit or miss with the customer because you've probably not gone into depth of what the customer really wants. So that's why solve is a divergent phase because we are opening our mind. Divergent. Okay, that is completely opening our mind to see what all can fit in, what are the number of ideas that can come. So we ask lots of people to generate ideas. We use lots of TRIS triggers, inventive principle triggers to get so many ideas, as many ideas as we can. That's why it's divergent. Okay, the solve phase. Now apply the same methodology on whatever the phrases that you use, the words that you use, and see if it is divergent or convergent. Don't go with Stanford model or my model or anything. Just use this principle and see where it applies. Okay. So there's no right or wrong answer. I'm not saying, according to us, solve is divergent. We think that we need to keep our mind open to as many areas as possible. Think about it in the phases that you described, and then you'll get the answer.
Sir, one more thing. When I was in design school at IIT Guwahati, I did MDes program. So where like that time, I mean, that double diamond was not that much trendy, and I think 12 years back I was in MDes. So that time, like what we understood in the design school, like the design process is like generally depends upon your project. I mean, the project, and like based upon your project and problem statement, basically you define the path, like how it goes and what decision as a designer you will be taking forward to solve the problem.
Correct.
So the main objective here is to make the product usable and user friendly for the end user. That is the main objective. And as a designer, these are methodology, and we will be applying during the journey across. But that might differ based upon the problem statement and the situation also. Sometimes we might skip applying some of the methodology based upon the situations. So I mean, this is what we heard. But when I came into industry where we have like this diamond method also, some of the organization used to follow, and they also used to tell us like follow the diamond method to the client and show that this is what we are following in our organization. So what I feel, I mean, that such kind of.
Sorry to interrupt you, Gautam. In the interest of time, can you tell me what the question is? We got the point, double diamond and its adaptability to the product itself. Is
Yes.
there a question or is this a comment?
No, I'm just telling, like, that time, design thinking was different, or currently the design thinking model is different, or it's the same thing. So that
Okay,
thing I'm
so
trying
it's a great question. It's a model. So it's a model, as they say, all models are wrong, some are useful. So
Yeah.
you pick what is useful and adherent to your company's process, your users. This is a way we are suggesting that could work for you. Okay, based on our experience, based on things that you've seen, this could be something that works for you. Of course, your user, your customer is the main focus, and you need to focus. If you know the problem very well, your ideas are flowing like a and there's nobody's business, and you know how to prototype quickly. You don't have to go through all of these steps. You can do it quickly. But for people who can't do that, particularly people who are not from, let's say, a design background. That's why the whole idea of what goes on in the design world was brought out by folks in IDEO and conceptualized as something that anybody can use. So the applicability of these methods all across is what IDEO really made sure. So thank you so much for bringing this up, that
Thanks
not
to
all
you.
processes are the
Thanks.
same. Thanks.
Thanks.
Shyam, can we finish those
Hello, sir.
questions?
All right.
Hello, good afternoon,
First
sir.
two questions has been answered.
Okay.
I think we'll move on to the last question from Praveen Gokul. It's from the week 1 assignment, question number 2. He has the same confusion. 4-step, 5-step. I think even this has been discussed. Would you still want to add something to that, sir?
Sure. Why not? This is an FAQ, as I call it. For sure, if you search on the internet, you will find the 5-step method, or like how one of our learners, Gautam, was describing. There is a 4-step method also prescribed. So which one should you really go for? Well, in this course, as we see, as you probably have already seen, it's a 4-stage method, but the spirit of the development of the method is identical. Okay, it's the same: empathize, analyze, solve, and test. Is very similar in empathize is empathize, analyze is define, solve is ideate. test is combined part of prototyping and testing, which comes back to empathize again. This is what we do. So there's no difference. I have documented many of these questions, the frequently asked questions, in a blog post, series of blog posts. You can see that in my chat. I will also post it on the YouTube chat for people who want to sort of use it. Okay, yeah, that's my short answer to that question. Shyam, can we move to the next one?
Okay, so the last question is from the week 3, question number 3. There were 5 options, with the fourth option being repeated twice.
Okay.
And we are supposed to ignore this for evaluation. So do you want to add on to this?
Yeah, so this is the question which did attract a lot of attention from many people. Thank you for bringing all of this to our attention. Like you probably just saw, this is still a human-driven process, so there are mistakes possible from our end. So thank you for being patient with that. So as a responsible organization, NPTEL definitely addresses the needs of all learners, and we will also, in that spirit, will not consider this question at all for the evaluation, because the last option is repeated. Although it's not the right answer, it is repeated. We could actually, but since it's caused some confusion within you, we have decided to ignore this question. We will not consider your responses, whether it's right or wrong. Okay. Either way, we're going to ignore this question. But what is the right answer for this? What should the British Navy? I mean, hindsight is 2020, as they say. What should the British Navy have done, or at least according to us, is that they should definitely look at what the conflict of interest is, which is between the whole copper corrosion stuff and marine life growth issue also, and resolve that. Not just take decisions saying, okay, forget the marine life, or forget the copper corrosion. Take one path and keep going on with it. If you're really serious about solving a problem, you need to resolve this, have the cake and eat it too. So look at the conflict of interest and resolve it. That's what they should have done 150 years ago, right? So that's again hindsight, just as a sort of passing by comment. But from the process point of view, we are deciding to ignore this question. It will not be counted towards your evaluation.
All right. So that's all from the GFORM and the discussion forum. Shaktivel in the chat window has posted. He has a doubt with respect to question 2 also from week 3. Shaktivel,
Okay.
could you share the question with us?
What is question 2, week 3? I'm not sure I remember that.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
The question is, were Sir Humphrey Davy's experiments successful in the North Sea?
Yes.
Were they successful in the North Sea? Okay.
So I've gone through it in the internet, but it showed that the experiments were related to, like, it was not.
Could you be a little louder, please? Sorry, I can't hear you so well.
Yes, sir. 1 minute, sir. Now is it audible, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Yes, please tell me.
Yes, sir. When I searched it in the internet, it showed that he was not directly linked with British navies or like that. He was actually experimenting on chemistry or something like that. So I was confused whether he had direct links with the British Navy. That was my.
Okay. So based on what I read, Mr. Shaktivel, is that Sir Humphrey Davy was indeed successful in the North Sea, as in his experiments were successful because it worked. His copper corrosion method worked. His sacrificial, electrode process worked. Definitely, we attribute that idea itself to Sir Humphrey Davy. It worked, and since it worked in the North Sea with ice cold sea, where marine life deposition is not a problem, people saw that the solution really worked. However, when they switched the same solution to a vessel which was faring in tropical waters in near Indonesia, marine life grew very well because there were no copper ions to deter them, right? So the copper ions actually keep the marine life from accumulating in the bottom of the ship. So it worked in the North Sea, but not in the Indonesian Sea. That was what our connect was. Now, British Navy, according to what I read, is the British Navy did summon Sir Humphrey Davy to implement the solution, and the vessel that was built in Kochi, Samarang, was the first of its kind to have that solution inbuilt, but it had to be let go because it was not working. Because if the British Navy's ships were slow, it's of no use. They were known for their speed. The British Navy, prided themselves that this is the best ship because they were really fast. But with all the marine life in the bottom of the ship, it's not going to be fast enough for them to attack and respond to attacks. So that's why they had to let go of the solution. So were they a success in the North Sea? Yes. Were they a success in the Indonesian Sea? No. Hopefully that clears up what we were thinking.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. But
Okay.
as this question was not related to the videos, is there any like dual answer, or it should be like single? Because
No,
I
this
have
is
not.
there in the video. This is there in the video in week 4, though. However, it was there in the week 4. What we found out was that the video.
First video.
Sorry?
In the first video. In the fourth week, first video.
Yes,
Okay.
In the lecture.
week.
In the lecture.
Correct. You're right. You're absolutely
Okay,
right.
sir.
There in week 4 first video. And since
Okay,
it
I
was
was actually
released
wondering.
before the deadline for the course, we said let's
Mail
see. I mean,
mail was also sent from the NPTEL that for the questions second, third, and the fourth answer will be related from the for fourth lecture. This was already
yes.
mail was sent from their side.
Correct. So we made sure that the announcement went on time. Sham made sure that it wasn't my job. Sham did it very well. He made sure that NPTEL shared the announcement that week 4 first video will be related to these questions.
Okay, sir. Actually, I missed it. Sorry, sir. Okay, sir. I got it.
Okay. No worries. So on a exam / marks point of view, 3 out of 4 assignments, best 3 out of 4 assignments will be considered for the final, and that will be a total of 25%. So each, I think, 25% is what is the aggregate. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. Shyam, are we done with the questions from the list that you had, or are we still?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we are.
Okay, good. Are there any more questions? We have a couple of minutes from the audience here.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Unikrishan from Pune. Sir, for the final exam, how it will be? It will be multiple choice questions, 180 questions, 10 questions, like that. Just an introduction on that.
Okay, sure. So I'll give you a very short answer to that since we have only 2 minutes. However, we will have a dedicated live session number 3 on March 15th at 4 p.m. To give you what is the exam going to be, what is the format, how many questions will be there, what kind of questions will be there. All that we have one dedicated live session for that. Okay. The short answer is there'll be multiple choice questions. All of them will be computer based. Multiple choice questions in the first part of it.
Okay.
I think it's about 60 or 70% of it will be multiple choice for objective, and there'll be some case-based questions towards the end. I guess there'll be like 1 or 2 cases in which you have to, based on that question, you will have 5 sub questions which you'll have to answer. Again, multiple choice questions. There are no calculations as you've seen in our course.
Okay.
There are no written type questions. There
Sure.
are no, what do you call them? Subjective questions also in our course.
Okay, it will be around 1 hour, no? 1 hour question test.
The total test is 3 hours long, and isn't it right, Sham? 1.5 is the
Yeah.
minimum time you have to be there
Yes.
in the exam hall. They won't
Yes.
let you out of the exam hall
Okay.
before 1.5
Before.
hours.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So make
So
sure you
one more
eat
thing.
well enough for lasting at least 1.5 hours.
Okay, sir. Sir, 1
Okay.
minute. Your session, I recently joined in the section and all. I'm
Okay.
doing my PG through the study center. I joined in the SWAYAM also.
Okay.
And I joined in this course for the last time. The end time only I joined. Only 2 days was remaining. And
Oh,
I
okay.
had picked up.
Okay.
Yes, I picked up the lot. It was good. And
Okay.
you
Thank you for your kind words
and
and
your
thank you for
session
making it
also
on time.
it was creative and very good, really appreciable.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. All
Thank
credit
you.
to the NPTEL team, Shyam, Sukrat.
Yes, all
Also,
are
they
well.
share. There's a big team who's in the backdrop. You can only see me, but there are lots of people working behind.
Yes.
Thank you
Really
so much
in
for your
the
kind
local
words.
language also very much, because the creative thinking and all, no, in the local language also it was very nice, really
Okay.
appreciable, sir.
We
Thank
will
you.
pass it on to the NPTEL team for that, for all the hard work. Thank you so much for your kind words. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, folks. All the best for your exam preparation, whoever is taking the exam. And we'll see you on March 15th, 4 p.m. Thanks, Shyam and the NPTEL team for making sure this happened without any glitches. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you all
Thank you.
learners
Bye.
for
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
participating in this, for your questions as well. Bye, everyone.
Bye, sir.